Hey guys, Prepared Mind here. If you got 'em, smoke 'em, Steve. I'm driving over to Davis, California today. And I got ideas rolling through my head all the time about prepper videos, ideas I want to share with you guys. And this is going to be episode 5 of Why Prepare for SHTF. And it's about peer pressure. Okay, peer pressure. We all feel it, right? We feel it because it's there. We make decisions based not on, in my opinion, what is right, but on peer pressure. Prepared mind, you shouldn't smoke. John, you're a dumbass. You're killing yourself. Right? I hear shit like that from people. Well, you know, I don't smoke that much. I don't smoke hardly at all. In fact, usually I just chew these damn things. But what I want to do is I want to start by welcoming all the new subscribers that have been coming to the channel. Thank you. Thank you for the new comments, the people that are choosing to comment. I figure maybe 1 in 10 people that subscribe and watch comment. Probably because of peer pressure. You know, they're watching the videos, but they don't want to say anything. They don't want to sound stupid. They don't want to contradict me. They don't want other commenters to attack them. They don't want trolls. They don't want attention. And a lot of this is for negative reasons. It's the same reason I'm a very private person. And again, I come to you guys because no one in my town really knows I'm on here. Just a very few people. And when they talk to me, they're extremely cryptic around other people. They're very conscientious of my desire to remain private. And JC, you know what I'm saying, brother. So peer pressure, you know. So I welcome new subscribers, and people that comment, I at the very least will say thank you. You know, I lose a lot of comments. I can't find them. People have commented, and I don't respond because I don't find their private messages, or I don't see their comments, and all of them, they're lost in there. But, you know, just the idiot trolls that call up and say, hey, I wanted to see the hot chick in your thumbnail and I saw your ugly mug. You know, that's negative peer pressure. Or you're just a lunatic. Right? What do you know? You big dumbass, you know, and they can hide. And, you know, when I hear that, I think, you know, what a dick. You know, if he saw me in person, he probably wouldn't say that, but he's trying to use a negative form of peer pressure. It's control. Well, I want to say to you new subscribers and new viewers, new commenters, welcome. You're welcome here. Thank you. Thank you for thinking about this. Thank you for taking the next step if you're new to prepping. And if you're one of us older salty dog types, you know, welcome to the channel. This is a forum where you can express yourself if you choose to. If you want to sit back and remain anonymous, you can. It's mostly thinking exercises. In this particular series of videos, is about why prep. You know, why should you prepare for shit hits the fan? And I started out with responsibility. It's your responsibility, no one else. You know when you get your tail in a crack that no one comes running to your aid. Or if they do, it's for a very short time and a very limited amount. Yeah, stupid stogie went out. You know, but welcome. I want you to feel welcome here. I think why people don't prep is they'll hear something like, you should prepare for a week for hurricanes, or for power outages, or for any number of mainstream concepts that would encourage you to prepare. and you're here watching this video, and you're taking responsibility for yourself, and then you're looking around trying to understand, well, what are the reasons? Well, you have some kind of reason you're here. But what's stopping you? What's stopping you from preparing? And I know for a fact it's peer pressure. What other people think. Fear, ridicule. It's not just wanting to remain private, but it's the fear and ridicule of other people. You don't want people to think something bad about you. You don't want family members to think anything bad about you. You don't want to be thought of as a lunatic, a doomsday prepper. Okay, anybody that you've ever met that talks about something strange, what's your instant reaction, your gut reaction to someone who says, I had a Bigfoot experience or a UFO experience? You immediately think, well, this person is a lunatic. They're crazy. I should back away from them. That's how people tend to treat people who offer an alternative perspective on the world around us. And so peer pressure is a powerful tool used by people to control others. Powerful tool. Peer pressure is what is keeping Americans from revolting against the government that is clearly tyrannical. I don't think it's the threat of going to jail or of dying for a noble cause. I think it's peer pressure. For me, when I think about how would have I fought in the American Revolution, I'd like to think, I'd stand up and tell those redcoats to suck it. But today, if I stand up and say, hey, redcoats, suck it, right? Everyone around me looks like I've got 3 heads. It's the peer pressure. I don't even want that shit. I don't want it to affect my ability to make money, affect my job. I don't want it to affect my personal life and my family. So, you just don't say things like that. And it's a very effective tool at controlling us. It's also an effective tool to keep you from preparing. Say you're a new prepper and you go to the store and say it's a survival store or an outdoors store, like I'm going to have to plug a company here, Shields or Cabela's, and you go up to the camping counter and you say, I need some food that'll last, the freeze-dried food. And they'll say, oh, well, what are you doing, and you're going to end up telling them something like I'm going to go camping, or I'm going to, I just need some of this stuff around. You don't want to tell them, well, the world's going to end. We're all going to die a flaming death unless we have some food stored, because you're afraid they're going to look at you like you're crazy, like you're one of these doomsday preppers. I've had friends ask me, are you a prepper? And I'm like, no, because I don't want the flack. It's peer pressure. So as a new prepper, if you're new, you've got to let a little bit of it out. You've got to go and do some of the work. You've got to start finding ways to get food. And the internet, fortunately, is a great way to anonymously prepare and buy supplies. You don't have to go to your local store where people know you and start buying 50-pound bags of rice and then have them wonder, are you a prepper? I mean, you can do that. If you're comfortable, that's great. If you don't give a shit what other people think, that's awesome. But I think for a majority of the sheep out there and new preppers, there's a tremendous angst that's felt. The same angst that you would probably feel if you walked up and said, hey, I was probed by aliens last night. I need some food and a handgun and lots of ammunition, because I don't want to be probed again, and I think this is going to protect me. It's the same thing with prepping for emergencies or civil unrest or something like that. You don't want people to think you're crazy. So I have to ask you, as the new guys out there, new people coming here, why should I prepare? Well, that peer pressure is going to stop you. It's going to become an impediment to executing your plans. And you've just got to get past that. It's really hard. You've got to make the commitment and realize that you are responsible for yourself. Now, am I wrong about this? why should you prepare? What's stopping you? Well, it's peer pressure in a lot of ways. It's something that has to be overcome. When you go to the water cooler at work, do you guys talk about preparing for doomsday, Russian invasion, nuclear war, impending asteroid impact? Or do you talk about something light and airy? Something that has something that's inconsequential to real life, like football, or Dancing with the Stars, or your favorite TV drama. Even those of us who watch The Walking Dead, that actually has allowed people to seriously approach the topic of self-defense and preparing through a fictional story we get to see on TV, and it makes it almost okay to talk about. And I've tested this. I've said, well, do you really think there are zombies, or that zombie is a potential? And that's when you start getting the squirrely looks again. You start getting the, hey man, are you crazy? It's just a TV show. I go, why are you taking it so seriously? If someone's physically dead, metabolically, they just can't move around. It's not going to happen. So then you go, okay, well, metaphorically, people are zombies. Can that happen? Well, fuck, it's already happened. Look around you. There's more brain dead people running around, fucking other people up and ruining lives. That's good evidence that, yeah, there's the living dead, zombies running around. But that peer pressure, why prepare for SHTF? Shit hits the fan? I bet you've got a good reason. Whether it's natural or man-made disaster, whether it's the uncertainty of life, whether you fear your government or fear another government, none of that is really as important as what would be stopping you, right? Because if you decide, well, I can't prep because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, if that's your decision, then what other people think has subjugated your responsibility to yourself and your family and your community. It's totally subjugated. It's become more important. Peer pressure. So that's why it's very negative. There's a couple subscribers on here that have gone to their friends and they're really strong, and they said, man, if you don't prep, you're the fuck out. You are out of the club, right? You have to. If you don't see this, you're an idiot. Get the hell out. Now, in a way, if you strongly believe that you need to prepare, then that's good. But it's also, you're negatively using that. You're using peer pressure to force people to prepare, to stockpile food and water and start making plans for how to survive an emergency. I think that's equally negative. I think you should be able to supply information to people and let them make their own decisions. But removing peer pressure altogether. And being kind of a student of psychology and a couple other things, I look at people quite a bit differently than probably the average person would. If you can't stand up for yourself, if you can't do what you know to be right because of something like peer pressure, odds are you've got an ego problem, or a self-image, or a self-respect problem. Because I've never heard anyone say, what self-respecting fool prepares? I've never heard that. But I have heard people, I've heard them, make comments like that. What self-respecting idiot wouldn't protect their family? Well, that makes good sense, right? What self-respecting person wouldn't take care of themselves and stand up for themselves? Now that makes more sense as a question. So I see that there's people, a lot of people, they've got a self-image, a self-worth, a self-value, self-esteem, and that's why they won't stand up to peer pressure. They're weak. So coming to a forum like this or other forums for preparing, gives you the ideas, gives you the concepts. Seeing someone like me or Van Prepper, general banter, other reasonable type people that just stand up and say, hey, you need to be doing this, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, I'll give you that kind of support. Like I said, when you come here, hey, you're welcome. Thank you. But, play nice. Don't go running around, trying to hurt other people's feelings, but, you're welcome here. You're not considered a lunatic here, and maybe that's why this channel is relatively popular. It's small. It's a small channel, but it's relatively popular amongst the those of us talking on here, and the YouTube community in general. Peer pressure is an incredible tool that governments use, that social groups use. It keeps us in line. The New World Order, I just said that for a reason. The New World Order doesn't want you talking about it. Why? Because if you believe that, you believe in conspiracies, and conspiracies are only espoused and understood by nuts and lunatics. And so people withdraw. They pull away from that. Hey, I'm not one of those nuts. And they back away. They don't have courage to stand up to that. And I'm pretty well read in it and well versed, and if someone wants to engage in an intellectual discussion of world affairs, history, I'll do it. And if they're anti, by the time we're done, they're going to look stupid in front of people, and they don't want that, because they don't want that kind of peer pressure. So the moment they feel themselves losing the argument about conspiracy theories, they'll back down from me. And whether I physically or intellectually or a combination of the two, cause them to submit, that's fine, right? But I don't need to be afraid. Once again, I don't want it to affect my family, my children, my job. But that's why I remain as private as I can. But there are times when it comes up. And succumbing to peer pressure is a huge one. My boss loves to taunt me because we've had some drinks and some discussions. But he doesn't dissuade me because I know the responsibility is mine. And when he says, I'll come to your house, I'm like, hey, man, we got to have some more talking before that can happen. I'm not your insurance policy, pal. You got to bring something to the table. Anyways, peer pressure. What do you think? Why prepare for shit hits the fan? You got lots of reasons. I've given you quite a few. My channel's loaded with them. Other channels are loaded with them. They tell you how to prep. There's a huge assistance community out here for it. The question is to you. There's responsibility. You now have a few reasons. So I'm asking you, is peer pressure stopping you from taking the next step? And if it is, should it? Should peer pressure stop you from taking the next step? If it does, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you need to examine your perspective, where you're coming from. Where you're coming from. Are you trying to impress and behave to satisfy other people? Or do you need to take that step and be responsible to your family? Now this why should I prepare for SHTF video is a little longer than my others, because this is, I think, the stumbling block. There's hundreds of reasons out there to prep. They're easy to find. But why people don't do it? Is it that they're fucking dumb? If you're watching this video, you're not fucking dumb. So why aren't you prepping? Or have you just started? But that's where they get you. It's the peer pressure. The fear of what others think. Right? You've got to free your mind. You've got to free your body in order to start taking action. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, or you don't have to be a power lifter to be strong. You just have to make the decision, know you're right about that decision, and move forward. And realize that people in your life, they don't make your decisions for you. You shouldn't let them make decisions for you. especially using something like peer pressure. Because if something bad happens, they're not going to be there for you. If shit hits the fan occurs in a small or really big way, they're not going to be there to help you. So, and once again, you have a lot of resources for both learning the information, learning what to do, how to plan, what supplies, what resources, what defense, what food, all that can be answered anonymously from the comfort of your easy chair or your office at home. You can watch videos that'll tell you how to do it. And you don't have to go out to friends and say, hey, what do we do? And then take a boatload of shit off of them because they're shallow or they're small-minded or they themselves are worried about what other people think. So my contribution to this is to expose myself a little bit and put my ideas and concepts out here for you to think about and consider. It's not that I'm asking anyone for any money. I don't want fame, fortune. I've gotten enough of that in my life. This isn't, like I said, it won't make me feel more successful. I've gotten all that in life. Now it just comes down to, at this point, what can I do to help others understand what's going on? How can I be of assistance to my fellow man in a way that won't interfere with my life, that doesn't cost me anything? This doesn't cost me anything. I'm doing this video while I'm driving somewhere, using my recording device. I'll upload it to YouTube. It doesn't cost me anything. Just a little bit of my personal time, my personal regard for my fellow man. And my fellow man, I don't give a fuck if you're old or young, man or woman, black, white, yellow, red. I don't even give a shit if you're, I don't give a shit. It's for everyone. If you accept the information, that's fine. If you reject it, that's fine. If you want to argue and nitpick it a little bit, that's fine. Peer pressure. Control. This is the first level of control. What other people think of you and what you think of yourself. Then it comes to laws, pieces of paper telling you what's right and wrong, whether they're secular or spiritual or religious laws. The next level of control is someone with a badge and a gun pointing it at you, or a uniform with threats of physical intimidation. That's control. There's differing levels of controls, but the most effective one is to have the people police themselves through the use of peer pressure. I'll say something like feminists are bitches. I can't fucking stand them. They're women who want to have penises. And someone will say, well, you're a misogynist. You hate women. And I said, no, I love women. It's just it's hard to find them these days. Because just about every woman I run across thinks she has a penis, thinks she's a man, thinks she can do everything I can do, and it's just not true. It's not true. It's not possible for a woman to be a man, to be like me. Now, peer pressure would dictate to me that I can't say something like that. It's sexist. It's wrong. You're going to catch all kinds of hell for that. You should bow down to the social standard and status quo, which is that we're all equal. Well, we're equal in the eyes of God, but He's a far superior being, isn't He? So I'm not going to submit to that type of social conditioning. If someone wants to be stupid and say they're just like me when they're not, I'm going to fucking tell them no. Right? And I'm not a misogynist. I love women. It's just I believe women should be women. They should act like women and do what women do. They should be themselves, not try and be like me. If there's a woman out there who's 6'6" and 280 pounds and still not going to be a man. She doesn't have testosterone. But I love real women. Soft, delicate, feminine women. Caring, nurturing, motherly types. I love that shit. That's, to me, a woman. The Betty Crockers and the June Cleavers. And to use the excuse that we're in modern times and that's just not possible, that's not my decision to make. That's their decision. If they feel the peer pressure, women out there, that they need to have their own careers and their own jobs and they need to be singularly important in the family and that everyone else needs to build their lives around the woman, that's their choice and their decision. And they're succumbing to peer pressure if they believe that. They're not being honest with themselves. So there, see, as you said something, quite a bit, in fact, about a social idea, and it can offend a lot of people. Women who want to have penises and men who wish they had vaginas will be offended by what I just said. They'll argue with it. And once again, I can stand up and, having put hundreds and hundreds of hours into studying the psychology of the social manipulation and experimentation going on, not only in the United States of America, but the whole world, I can stand toe-to-toe with anyone and make an intellectual argument against what's gone on. And I can give vast examples of the destruction, pain, and suffering it's caused. There's a lot going on, in my opinion. That's negative, and not being willing to speak about it. That's a personal choice. If you don't have the information or you aren't good at debating, to not say anything, and then to succumb to it, to put up with it and tolerate it within your life. Oh, elevation change. I'm passing through the Sierra Nevada, by the way. I'm going to drop into the Central Valley. Peer pressure is control. People that have done the social engineering want to control us through peer pressure. Other people telling you, that's wrong, you can't do that, you're a bigot, homophobic, misogynist bastard who probably is really big and has a giant cock and he can screw women for hours and hours and he's a total stud and we hate him for it. Too fucking bad to you people that want to stop people from being who they are. Don't succumb to peer pressure. And if you're a woman who can do what men can do, well, fuck, congratulations to you. Welcome to the party, right? If that's what you want to believe it. Make it your decision and your choice based on your thinking, not what other people are telling you needs to happen. And once again, I tell you on this channel, I'm going to give you some opinions, some ideas. I'm going to take sides in order to evoke or elicit a reaction and thought from you. I want you to think. I want you to think. You don't have to agree with me. You can argue with me, just be polite about it. But I'm not going to succumb to peer pressure, which would stop me and has stopped probably millions of Americans from preparing when they actually know better. All right. Shit, we're up to 29 minutes. Prepared Mind out.